Hello, my name is Amber Kelleher, and it is my privilege to serve as the Executive Director of TESOL International. I am coming up on 6 months in my position, and one of the commitments I've made is to periodically provide updates to TESOL members. I'd like to tell you about some of our recent accomplishments, mention a few upcoming projects and initiatives, and encourage you to get involved. Let's start with our accomplishments. We recently launched TESOL ME 6Ps series. Recognizing that educators lead very busy lives, TESOL ME, which stands for Modular Education, is a way for us to package our 6Ps series into 6-hour online modules that focus on key elements of English language teaching. This is the first time that we're offering 6Ps training online, and they are for educators in all practice settings who want to learn how to apply the 6 principles for exemplary teaching of English learners. Many of you know we held our first hybrid convention in March of this year. We had participants from 140 different countries. 2,000 attendees joined us in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in person, and an additional 8,000 participants joined us online. The excitement to be there with the in-person attendees was amazing to experience, and we're already planning on how we can bring an even better experience to you for our hybrid TESOL 2023 event hosted in Portland, Oregon in the US and virtually. Let's move internationally, and I want to tell you about 2 projects we've been working on, one in India and the other in Uzbekistan. First, in India, TESOL is currently working with the U.S. Regional Language Officer in India, Ruth Good, and the Ministry of Education to deliver the TESOL Course Certificate Program to educators in India. Instructors have been delivering blended training, so a virtual Foundations of TESOL course, an in-person Teaching Adolescent Learners course, and a Training for Trainers course. Thanks to the grant, participants receive a 1-year TESOL membership, which gives them the opportunity to experience the TESOL community. In Uzbekistan, well, I hope you've been reading about the blogs from our trainers. TESOL, along with American Councils and George Mason University, specifically Dr. Joan Kang Shin, designed a cascading professional development program that ultimately reached approximately 15,000 secondary English language teachers across multiple regions of Uzbekistan. In-person training started the summer of 2021, and last week we hosted a regional conference in Tashkent. So despite a pandemic, some delays, and shifting some of the learning to a virtual format, the program has been greatly successful, and the blog posts from TESOL trainers and their Uzbekistan teachers are a must-read. I want to talk about a TESOL book called Teacher Leadership for School-Wide English Learning, and the authors Michelle Benegas and Amy Stogelstad, who recently conducted a workshop for teachers in Prince George's County, Maryland. Teachers learned how they can harness the expertise of English language teachers to develop school-wide knowledge for serving multilingual learners across all content areas. This past week, we also kicked off a series of 3 online SWELL workshops, and there's still time to register for one of those upcoming workshops. The next one begins on June 23rd, and our 3rd workshop begins on July 12th. I encourage you to check out information about SWELL, and you can email learn@tesol.org to get more information about attending an online workshop or bringing the SWELL authors to your district. As we speak, the Advocacy Summit is currently underway in Washington, D.C. We are excited to be back in person this year with a full program that's devoted to discussing issues that matter for multilingual learners in our profession. It's also an opportunity to meet our new Advocacy and Policy Director, Jeff Hutchison, who has hit the ground running, and he will be such an asset for our profession. We're excited to have Jeff on the team. One area that continues to be a high priority for TESOL and for me personally is the work we're doing around diversity, equity, inclusion, and access. The TESOL board allocated funding this year for DEIA training for board members, staff, and volunteer leaders. And we have been interviewing 4 excellent partners, and we'll be making a difficult decision in the next few days to select one of those partners to do some of that training with us. Other priorities, we have room to grow here, include diversifying our authors, leaders, presenters, volunteers, and so on. We are working closely with our councils, our intersections, our professional learning networks to encourage and involve historically marginalized and underrepresented groups to get involved. So watch for more work there. We welcome your ideas and suggestions. You can visit tesol.org/DEI for a full list of the work that we're doing. Some of you have been hearing about our technology initiative. Our new learning management system, or LMS, is the first system that has been upgraded, and it marks a major leap forward in our online education. Next up will be TESOL's website. You know how difficult it can be to find information and navigate on our site. We have a very capable team working on a new website that puts you, the member, at the forefront of that site, and that's scheduled to launch by the end of this year. I'll draw your attention to our annual report for 2021, which is now available on tesol.org. I encourage you to check it out. Overall, and despite the pandemic, it was a successful year. Well, that's it for this iteration. I hope you enjoyed this update from inside TESOL. I want to thank you all for the important work that you do in support of multilingual learners. Please reach out if you'd like to continue the conversation. You can reach me by email at akelleher@tesol.org. Thanks so much.